couple seconds for people to make it in. Okay, I think we are ready to start. Again, if you're just coming in and you didn't hear my announcement, this is also being recorded. So please keep your video off if you would not like yourself to be recorded, and you can use the chat if you would like your voice to also not be recorded. All right, so this year, teachers have learned a lot from our last year with Canvas. And we're still figuring out some of the best ways to use Canvas, especially since this year Canvas is being used with all students. So that's in-person students, our independent studies students, and those that have to be temporarily off campus. This slideshow is a resource. So we're hoping you're going to get a lot of information, but we're hoping you come back to it and use the videos and the links embedded to help you learn about Canvas. All right. So this is an example, or two examples of a home page for Canvas. This is this year's second grade independent studies Canvas course here, and you can see it's organized very differently from the fifth grade one. So you may or may not have access to the same links and buttons. If you see on the page on the left side, the second grade one only has home, item banks, brain pop, and news ELA. And the fifth grade page has access to much more. So we may be talking about things in this presentation that you do not see on your home screen. The decision about how the homepage looks and what students have access to depends on the grade level and the grade level teachers, because they have designed these. As mentioned in the video, the elementary school and middle school both, you have access to an inbox. In this inbox, as observers and students, you can email the teachers. Students in a course can also email other students. So you should be aware of that and encourage your student to use their digital citizenship skills, of course. This is a great way, though, to connect with teachers. If you are observing more than one course, number 3, the big arrow, green arrow on number 3, is where you select the course that you would like to email to. Private messages should be written from your observer account, because you may not want your child to see a message you're trying to privately message the teacher. So just make sure you're in the right account when you're doing that, because I know us, the elementary parents, are sometimes going in on the student app or the student account to help their child with Canvas. And Mary, I believe.
All right. I think go back one, types of assignments. Or did I go? Hang on, I skipped.
Okay.
Okay. So the elementary school, we are organizing things in modules is what it's called. Most grades have them organized by weeks or days of the week. And that will be a little bit different depending on the grade level. When you go, for example, in fifth grade, you might see it organized by day of the week, and then you'll see the different assignments underneath. In kindergarten, they have it organized by the unit of study. So each module is a unit of study. So their Who We Are unit has their items organized underneath that header. And so there are some differences between grade levels and that you can get familiar with. If you have specific questions about the organization, your child's teacher would be the best resource. And when you click into the assignments that are within the modules, where you see the picture that says Zoom meeting expectations. At the bottom, there's a green box around the word next. So you can scroll through linearly in a module from assignment to assignment, or you can click the back button on the top left of the screen to get back to the module, or you can click the blue modules button to get back to modules. If the modules link is not turned on for your grade level, some grade levels maybe only have the home, then you would click back to home. I know for the 3rd grade, we have our home page, and then there are buttons for days of the week that take you into that week's module. So you can navigate through Canvas in multiple ways, and you'll find as you use it or as your child uses it, that they'll find the way that they feel most comfortable. There are a lot of icons in Canvas. And so you'll see on the bottom right of the screen, there are 4 arrows. One has an arrow pointing with the word page in it. And in Canvas, there are pages. They're not necessarily assignments they're not things that you would turn in, but it's more like a static kind of web page or a landing page where there might be other links out to other pieces of information or resources. Then, and that looks like a little page. And then the next arrow is quiz, and that's like a little rocket. So sometimes there are assignments that are quizzes, and those are things that your teacher has set up that students can answer a variety of different kinds of questions online, and they're automatically graded usually, unless they are like an essay type question that the teacher then will need to grade. And every teacher grade level may have different protocols with how they are allowing students to see their scores or how many times they can attempt the quiz. I know we just had our first independent studies math test quiz, and a student, kind of rushed through it and wanted another chance. So they emailed through inbox, could you reset another turn? So just keep that communication open if you come to like a little roadblock where, oh, we goofed, or we needed another try, so that the teachers can change those settings if they need to. Pages in there twice, so pages are super important. And then the last arrow is assignment. So you'll see it's got a little pencil there. Assignments tend to have a due date, like there's a due date that will land the assignment in the calendar section. Assignments sometimes they have a way to submit. You may submit a photo, you might submit through the media button, you can submit a video, you might submit just a file. So every assignment will have a different way that the teacher has set it up. And some teachers don't use a due date, or they don't keep an open date and a close date. So those are differences teacher to teacher, grade to grade. I really like and need the calendar personally. So I like to set for 3rd grade, we set an open date and a close date. If there's ever a close date and you're trying to get back to an assignment and you're like, it was there, I know it was there, it may be that it's past that close date or lock date. So if it's something that you need access to, communicate with your child's teacher so they can either say, don't worry about it, or they can extend that close date or allow you a little extra leeway on the access. Any questions about that slide before we go on? Oh, I don't see any in the chat. I think we're ready for types of assignments, which I touched on in the next slide. We've got a variety. So there are, like I said, you can upload a file or a media and record something. Google Drive is something that a lot of teachers will embed within an assignment, and students can access, and it makes a copy of them for them of a Google slide or a Google document, and then they can make those changes. There's different ways to submit these assignments sometimes. So if you are using a Chromebook, there's a video link here for how to submit it. A student app, if you're using the student app, you can click that video for how to submit. You cannot submit work through the Observer app, through the parent app. So if you're an elementary student, parent of an elementary student or a family member of an elementary student, and you're trying to support submission, you'll want to log in and into the student app. There are other types of assignments besides just writing and video submissions. Discussions are something used where students are able to type almost like a typed conversation. And there's a little video to explain that and see that in action. There are the quizzes, some are graded, some are not graded. And like I said, some may have a due date, some may not have a due date, and some have no submission. I noticed in 4th grade, they have even sometimes a link on out to, they're using another website that there's a lot of different types of external tools. So sometimes you may be sent out to an external, like I think it's Seesaw that they're using. A lot of us use Flipgrid or BrainPop, and some of them are embedded within Canvas and some of them are external to Canvas. So there are a few differences. The next slide is going to talk a lot more about those external tools. So you'll see if you see an external tool assignment, there are over 300 different Canvas tools that are external. Google Docs is a very common one. We have a little video in there to kind of go over that. A lot of the classrooms and specials are using Flipgrid. There's a video about that, but you'll also see links and external tools like Think Central or Khan Academy or IXL, Anton and Antolene, Duolingo, the Logo website for German, and then ReadWorks, Kids A to Z, Epic. So there is a variety of tools and they have different associations with Canvas. Some are embedded and some will take you outside. Are there any questions about the assignments? If not, then I'll hand it over to Ms. Gullins for the assignment page.
All right. So if your teachers have enabled assignments on the left side navigation, you'll see a page that looks like this. I just wanted to real quickly distinguish between overdue assignments and past assignments. So overdue always means it was not turned in. It doesn't mean that you can't turn it in. That just depends on how the teacher has set it up. But past assignments are turned in the past. Upcoming's obviously upcoming. Overdue means not turned in. All right, so this is has a picture of a few different things. You often see, or you always see, the to-do list on the course homepage. Again, as you can see in this number 1 that it's pointing out, you can differentiate between different types of assignments, right? So this one with the little pencil is an assignment that will have a due date of January 11th by 11:59 p.m. This is an announcement, that's why it's a little speaker. If you want to take off something on the to-do list, simply click the little X next to it and it will delete off of that if it's getting a little too crowded. If there's more to look at and you want to see them all, of course, go to the Show All button. This is on the left side of the page, but you can actually see, sorry about the dog, the to-do list is actually on the right side of the home page. And this is just another way to view courses. So these are different courses and you can, oh no, this is an assignment. So it's graded, it even has a reply from the teacher and feedback. Missing means it was not turned in. Okay, let's see. Mary?
Hello. So like I said, I like to use the calendar. And so I make sure we assign a due date, and on the left-hand side of your Canvas screen, there's almost like 2 vertical little navigation bars. And so on the far left one, there is a calendar icon and you can click that and it takes you to one of 2 views. You can click a month view or an agenda view. And so the month view gives you the overview of the whole month. And what I like about this is when you submit an assignment that has a due date that's listed in the calendar, once it has been submitted, it gets closed, it gets crossed off your list through the calendar view. So my son never used the to-do list. We tried to use the calendar view to see how things got crossed off. You can also customize this if your child always has piano on a certain day or soccer. There's a plus sign in the week view, and you can add your own events to your child can add their own events. And this is within the student login, so not from the observer. But you also can, if you would like, to sync your child's calendar for due dates to your Google or iCal calendar. There's a little video link here, but you can sync that to your phone or your other, your Google Calendar. And that way you can see it pop up without having to go in through the app. I found that very helpful for us last year. I think, any questions about calendar?
Mary, I'm going to stop sharing for just 1 second because I'm
Sure.
trying to enable interpretation and I can't
Oh,
see the interpretation button opening when I'm
okay,
sharing for some reason. So hang on 1 second, please.
sure.
Okay, here we go. I think I got her. Okay, hopefully that is working now. Sorry about that. I did not get the memo. Anna, do you have the interpretation abilities now? I'm not sure. Okay. Let's see. Yes, she does. Okay, great. So sorry about that. I didn't know I had to do anything when we started. Okay, let me let another person.
All right. I think that was all to cover about calendar.
Creo que eso es lo que tenemos que cubrir para el calendario. ¿Quieren que regrese?
Okay, so a couple tools I wanted to point out.
Algunas herramientas que quiero señalar,
Elementary
especialmente
school, there
si
is an
tienen niños en la
reader
escuela
so that,
primaria.
will read text to your student. You can see there's a big button right here.
Que hay un botón aquí.
Unfortunately, last I checked, and I'm pretty sure this is still accurate, it's only
Desafortunadamente,
available in pages and not in
solamente
assignments.
está
If you would like
disponible
to
en las
see a
páginas y
video
no en
of what
tareas.
immersive
Si
readers like
quisieran
and
ver un
access
video,
there is one linked on the page.
hay un
There is,
enlace en la página para que
great.
puedan acceder a este
I do
video.
have one other tool to share. This
Tengo
is
otra
one that's
herramienta que quisiera
available on
compartir con
all
ustedes.
the AEA Chromebooks. Let me move my
Esto
little
está
bar. It's
disponible
called
en los
Read and
libros
Write. If
AEA.
you're in,
Se llama Read and Write.
if you're accessing Canvas through
Si entran a
Google
Google Chrome
which
a través de
you
Canva,
will be if you're on a Chromebook, you'll see the Read and Write looks like a little puzzle sign up here.
verán que
And
el
if you are
símbolo
not
es como de un
using a
rompecabezas.
Chromebook right now, but you would like to use Read and Write, you're always welcome to check out a Chromebook. You just go into the office during school hours and you'll be issued one. So this will give
Si
you
quieren hacer uso de esto, pueden dirigirse a la oficina para que se les explique cómo se puede utilizar.
so your child can speak and it'll type it out. There's
También tiene la
information
función de
about
dictado, de
how
manera
it
que si el
works
niño
and
habla,
guide
entonces
also
escribirá
linked
la
on this
función.
page, but it really is
También
great. So
tenemos
it's
el
for
enlace en
younger
nuestra
learners
página y es un buen
and
recurso para
older
nuestros
learners.
niños y para los padres.
You can do a video response from within Canvas. So instead of having your
Puede
child
hacer un
type out
video como
a
respuesta
response, if
desde
they click
Canva.
this little button here, they
Si
can make
da
a
clic
video.
en este botón que les estoy señalando,
You
entonces
could
puede crear un
record or
video.
upload your child's
Puede grabar o
speaking,
subir
but
al
you can
niño
also
mientras
have them
está
hold
hablando,
up
pero también
their
puede hacer
paper to
que
show their work.
sostengan
They just
su
do their
trabajo
best
para
to
mostrar
point
la
into the
tarea,
screen, and then the
que
teacher
la
can
acerquen a
pause
la
the video and
pantalla
get a glimpse of the work that they did.
y
That
bueno,
way you don't
podemos
have to
pausar
take a
el video para que
picture of
podamos
the paper
observar
and
bien
then
lo
upload
que
it.
sea
It
que
just
estén acercando a la
simplifies it
cámara.
a little bit.
Can I just add, if you're doing the media for holding up the writing, try to silently, or you can count out loud, but count to like a good 3 seconds, holding it really still as
Cuenten
close.
3 segundos mientras están sosteniendo el trabajo, porque eso nos da una oportunidad de poner pausa y tener una visión mucho más clara. Pero es una muy buena herramienta.
And that's me on the app. So I think we talked a little bit about the difference between using your student's account and the
Creo que
observer.
hablamos de la diferencia de la cuenta del estudiante, cuenta del observador. Las aplicaciones son diferentes y tienen diferentes funciones.
School parent, you might find downloading the student app more helpful than
Es
having the
probable que
parent or
sea
observer
mucho
app.
más útil que ustedes
The
descarguen la
positive
aplicación
for the
del
observer
estudiante
parent
que la
app
del
is that the
observador.
communication is kept private just between you and the teacher. So if there's something that
Esto
you
es
want to
porque
discuss that
desde
you
su
don't want your
aplicación de
child
observador la
to be reading
comunicación
all
con
the
el
details,
maestro se
then
mantiene
you'll
privada
use the
solamente
parent
entre
or
ustedes
observer
y el
app
maestro.
for Canvas. But as far as helping, especially a younger elementary student, turn things in,
Para
the student
ayudar
app is
a
way
que
more
los niños
useful.
más
It's
pequeños
really easy
entreguen
to
los
submit just a
trabajos,
still
es
photo
muy
into an
sencillo
assignment using a phone.
convertir la tarea
And
en una
that
fotografía
QR code makes it
utilizando
really
su
easy to
teléfono.
switch from student to student. So depends on how you want to use it and how you're trying to support your I
En
think we
realidad depende de
sidekick, they
cómo
called it,
prefieran
to your
ustedes
child in their
usarlo
learning.
y cómo quieren
But
ayudar
if you are
al
using the student
conocimiento
app,
de
just
sus niños.
remember that you are
Recuerden en
communicating
realidad
as the
que
student
ustedes
through their
están
account. So I
comunicando
know
como
I
el
would
estudiante
sometimes
a través
email
de su
my
cuenta.
child's teacher last year and I would say, "This is the mom. I just had a question."
A veces mandaba yo
So just
correos
make
desde
sure
la
you're
cuenta de mi
identifying
niño y
yourself. We can
entonces
usually
tenía que
tell
decir,
by how you're writing,
soy la
what your
mamá.
writing is if you're the student or the parent. But that's probably the main difference to be aware of.
Sobre
Because you
todo la
cannot turn
principal
in
diferencia que deben de
assignments through
tener
the observer
presente,
or parent app.
porque no
This
pueden
bottom
subir
link at
tareas
the bottom,
desde
the
la
Canvas
cuenta de
parent app
observador.
info sheet is super helpful to give you the overview.
Este
Also,
enlace
the
que están
video
viendo
of
en la
the
parte de
observer app
abajo
from
es muy
Canvas
útil
is
para
also helpful if you had any
la
questions
aplicación
about the
del observador
differences.
en la aplicación de Canvas.
So this might be a good page if you are getting into using those apps to see.
Es una buena herramienta informativa si quieren saber cómo utilizar estas herramientas que les estamos proporcionando.
Oh, I did want to point out that grades, when I talked about those external apps,
Quería decirles
those
que para
grades,
las
like if you're
calificaciones,
submitting something for Kids A to Z or you're submitting something
si
for
están
reading arts
enviando
or
los
Think Central,
trabajos
those
para
grades don't
las
flow
lecturas,
into Canvas, so you wouldn't see those grades there.
esas
The teachers
calificaciones no
might
se
use a
reflejan en
complete,
Canvas.
incomplete, and they may go and check off
Van a
alternate, or
ver
they may have
solamente
for those
completo
external
o
apps like no
incompleto
submission. So they will check
o no
Think Central
enviado.
for the work done in Think Central, or they'll check Kids A to Z for the work done in Kids A to Z. So it may not be kept, that may not be tracked in the Canvas app, depending.
No hayan registro en la aplicación de Canvas, pero esto
I
depende de
think I
cada
wanted to
maestro.
just say that. Okay. So the next slide is important,
La próxima
especially for your observer
diapositiva es
account, so you
importante
don't get
especialmente para
lots of
quien tiene
unwanted
cuentas de
emails or
observador.
notifications, or
Si
to
no
make sure
quieren
you get the
recibir muchos
notifications that you
emails
really do
que no
want,
son útiles o notificaciones
is
que
to
no
set
les
your
son útiles,
preferences in the observer account.
debe de ajustar sus
And when you
preferencias
get
en
in
la
there,
cuenta
you
del
can
observador
see
y
that there's a
cuando llegan
variety
ahí
of things. If you really want to
pueden
track
ver
due
una
dates
variedad
or grading,
de
there are things
información.
you probably want to turn off though, because you probably don't
Hay
want
cosas que
every
seguramente van a
Canvas
querer apagar para no
action
recibir
alerted
tanta
to you.
información o no estar
So
notificados de
you
cada acción de
probably want
Canvas.
to turn on the submission comment. So if the teacher has made any comments, that's a good one to keep turned on. But you probably
Una
won't
que es
be,
importante mantener activa es la de
maybe
los
every
comentarios de
file
los
uploaded
maestros, de
alerted, so
manera
you
que
might
si
want to X
algún
that
maestro
out,
les
or
envía
any
un
course
comentario,
content
ustedes
changes,
lo
you can
verán.
probably X those out. But as far as due dates, you might want to know that, and you can set them as
También
send
fechas
me
de
a daily
entrega, es
summary,
posible
send
que
me a
ustedes
weekly
quieran estar al
summary,
tanto
or
de esto.
yeah, I don't need to know about that. So you'll be the best judge about how you need
Pero
to
esto
notify
dependerá de
them.
ustedes. Deben de
Any
elegir qué
questions about
notificaciones quieren
notifications?
recibir y qué es lo que no les
You'll know quickly
es
if you
tan
need to change
importante.
them, because your email will be inundated. Okay. So our next slide is how to see that
Nuestra
feedback.
siguiente diapositiva es cómo
So
ver
on the
esta
dashboard or
retroalimentación.
the course homepage,
En el tablero o
that
en la
feedback is
página de
always
inicio del
visible on the
curso,
right-hand side.
la
You'll see recent
retroalimentación
feedback,
siempre es
and
visible.
so you can click there to see any feedback that the teacher has
Del
left.
lado derecho, donde les estoy
If you
señalando en
click
el
in the grades
recuadro
portion
verde,
on that left side,
es donde ustedes
which side
podrán
we're
ver
looking now
esta
on the screen, at the
retroalimentación.
left side grades, you can, if that's visible, you can also see comments in there. And
Al lado
there's
izquierdo verán
symbols
algunos
in Canvas,
comentarios.
so you'll see at the bottom of
Hay
the
muchos
screen there's a
símbolos en
green
Canvas,
little square
entonces
by the number 2.
van a ver un
It says
cuadro
speech
verde
bubbles,
pequeño
and that means
que
that a
tiene
teacher has left a
unas
comment. So
burbujas
there
de
was a comment
diálogo y
left
eso
for
quiere
Road to
decir que el
Revolution,
maestro
page
les ha
reaches
dejado
for a
algún
reason.
comentario.
And so you can click there and see what the comment was. You can
Pueden
also
hacer clic ahí
see
para ver
the
de qué se
check
trata el
with
comentario
icons,
y
if there's some
también
scoring details, if there's a
pueden
rubric,
ver
if
que
it's
hay
an
detalles
assignment
de
that has a rubric attached
calificaciones,
to it, that number 4
el
arrow
cuadro
would
que
have
tiene una
that where you can see
rúbrica,
that rubric.
la flecha
And then
número 4 es donde
back to
pueden ver
number
esta
1, I kind of
rúbrica.
missed it. That blue dot indicates that something is newly graded. So if you are
El
scrolling and you
punto
see some blue
azul
dots,
que tiene el
those
número
you want to
1
check
indica que hay algo nuevo o
out
hay un
because they're the
elemento
most
nuevo
recently
para que
graded
ustedes
items.
vean.
Now, if you're in the feedback, in the student app, and you can see that
En la aplicación del estudiante puede ver
screenshot was from last year.
que los
The student app,
tableros
if
se
you're
ven
in
de la
there and you
misma
want
manera
to
que en la
see the
del
comments,
observador.
you can click where it says submission and rubric. Now I have a barking dog. Submission and rubric, and that's
Tengo un
where you
perrito que
can
está
get
ladrando aquí,
into those comments from the
pero
teacher.
bueno, es
There's a
muy
little video
similar
there
en donde
that
pueden
you
ver
can
los
click if
comentarios de
it's
los
unclear when you
maestros.
get in there.
En el número 2
There's also some links at the bottom of this page for
también hay
the
algunos
student
enlaces
Canvas Q&A
en
about the
la
student
parte
app
de
and
abajo de
the
esta página
Observer Parent
respecto
app,
a la
and then if
aplicación
you
del
are using the
estudiante
Android app,
y
there's
la
a few
aplicación del padre u observador.
pieces that might be helpful in there.
Yo creo que ahí hay información que les puede ser útil.
Oh, that was that page. Sorry. Those are the links that Mary was just talking about.
Estos son los enlaces de los que estaba hablando Mary.
All right. So again, late is
Muy
submitted
bien.
after the
Pues
due date. Missing is not submitted.
Esta indicación de ley quiere decir que no se entregó en la fecha indicada y la indicación de missing quiere decir que no se entregó.
You can always go to the help
Si necesitan más ayuda, también pueden hacer clic en el botón de ayuda o help en la parte izquierda hasta abajo. Si su aplicación o Canvas está teniendo un mal funcionamiento o no saben si está sucediendo algo extraño con su computadora, también pueden reportar un problema en donde estoy señalando con la flecha. Y cuanto más rápido lo informen, más rápido podrá ser solucionado. Pueden también enviarme un correo electrónico para indicarme que están teniendo problemas para ingresar. Bueno, en la última página vamos a ver si tienen alguna pregunta. Si no se sienten cómodos encendiendo su audio o video, por favor, escríbanlo en el chat. Levanten su mano.
I'm also going to put in the chat the link to the
También voy a poner en el chat el enlace para las guías de Canva.
if you want to open that up before we exit, if you had any other questions or just want to
Si quieren abrirlos antes de que termine la sesión, en caso de que surgieran más preguntas a partir de esto, por favor les invito a que lo hagan. Cuando se envían los códigos de emparejamiento, bueno, se envían hasta que las maestras tienen sus códigos de emparejamiento de las clases y entonces es que ellas envían estos códigos. Pero si tienen algún problema, pueden escribirme un correo y entonces yo podría ayudar.
was a while ago.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll stay on and put that video link in the chat again.
Vamos a poner este enlace a este video en el chat de nuevo.
No problem. Okay. The video's in there, but we'll stay on and give you a minute or so to make sure that you're accessing it if you want to.
En este video, pero les vamos a dar un par de minutos para que puedan entrar. ¿Alguien más tiene una pregunta o algo que quisieran añadir antes de que terminemos la sesión?
Okay. Well, thank you all for joining us.
De acuerdo, pues muchas gracias por unirse a nosotros
We'll see you next time.
Thank
y
you.
nos vemos en la próxima. Muchas gracias.